Hello kids, welcome back to another episode of Scratch. I'm still your Scratch tutor, Ijoma. So today we'll be looking at using background music to make games. We've been creating games, we've created multiple games, and then we have not added a full background music or sound to our game. It's just our normal chom sound, the small sound that we add when something happens, right? So today I'm going to show you how you can add sound. When you're playing your normal game that you play on your phone, you'll be hearing all those sounds like your Candy Crush game, your Subway Surfers, you have this background sound. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how you can add sound to your games. Okay, so now using background music to make games more exciting. Imagine playing a game with no music. How would it feel? Boring, right? Maybe a bit empty or less fun, right? So background music makes a game more exciting by creating the right mood, right? So why is background music important? It says the right mood, okay? A happy tune can make a game feel so cheerful, and it makes the game fun. Music keeps players engaged and makes them want to keep playing. You know that, right? When you're hearing that sound, you want to go more, you want to do more, right? You want to get to the next level to hear the sounds, all those things. So now we're going to create a flying game with a background sound. Okay, so in our sprite library we have two cards or three cards, right? So we have our normal default cards that we've been using before, and then we'll have the flying cards. We have not used this particular card before, so for this project we're going to use our card flying. Okay, so here are the steps to take. Of course, we choose our card flying, and then we'll be using a tree. We have a tree one that we use to make our backdrop. We'll add it to our backdrop, and then we'll be using the crystal. A crystal will be like in place of coin. You can also use coin, but we don't have coin in our sprite library, and I want to bore you with the stress of downloading, and uploading. So that's why I choose crystal. Crystal is also a good sprite that we can use for this project. You can use crystal or star. So, but for me, I'll be using crystal for this tutorial. Okay. So the backdrop we'll be using for this is a blue sky, and then we'll code for our cards. Yeah, the steps will be taken for our cards. Can you see the steps? And the steps will be taken for our cards. See that? Because we want our card to move. You remember our beetle crawling the world project, so we made our beetle crawl around. So we're going to use that exact code for the cards, okay? Because we want the card to move right, left, up and down with our arrow keys. Okay, so after that we'll code for the tree. We're also going to code for the tree. After coding for the tree, we're going to code for our crystal. Crystal will be the last thing, will be the last sprite to be coding for. So without wasting much of our time, we'll head to Scratch now. Okay, so let's open Scratch, and then we'll delete our default cards. So now we'll go to our sprite library and we'll look for our flying cat. You can go to animals, right? Click on your animals, and here is our cat. You see, I said we have up to 3 cats in our sprite library. The first cat we have here is our normal default cat that you're familiar with by now, and we have the cat 2. I have not used the cat 2 before, and then we'll have our cat flying. As I'm moving, you're supposed to be displaying the costume we have. We have the flying costume. That's why we're using it, okay? Because it's going to be flying our stage. All right, can you see that it's already displaying the different costume is made up of? So you go on and click on your cat flying, and then let's wait for the cat to arrive. All right, our cat is here. So now we'll go back to our sprite library and we'll look for tree 1. We have 2 trees there. Okay, we have the tree 1 and we have trees. So we're going to use tree for this project. So you go on and then click on the tree one, choose it. All right, our tree one is right here on our stage. So the next sprite to be choosing now is our crystal. Okay, so now you can search for crystal to find it quickly. Okay, here's our crystal, and you know our crystal have two costumes, right? We've used the crystal before, but then we use the second costume, the purple crystal. So for this project, we'll be using the two crystals. Okay, so we'll make our crystal switch costumes. Y is moving across the screen. Okay, our stage. So you go on and you choose your crystal, and our crystal is right here. Now the next thing we'll be choosing is our backdrop. So you go to your backdrop library, and then you look for blue sky. I know you're familiar with this, but we can decide to change the color of our blue sky. Let's change the color. So click on your backdrop, and then come to this place. You click on backdrop, right? So you click on your select, and then you highlight your backdrop, the sky color. What color should we give to the sky? What color to make it more colorful? Let's make it more colorful. No. Something like this. Something like this is not bad. This is not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It's looking good, right? It's looking more catchy. So now we'll go back to our code. Let's set everything. So you place your tree. We're going to reduce the size of our tree. The tree is too big for our project. So you click here in your size, and then you go on and reduce the size of your script of your tree. Reduce it to 50. 50% is okay, right? So you click. I think the tree is down too small. Let's add more things to it. Let's make it 70. 70 is not bad, right? Yeah, 70 is not bad. It's looking okay now. Just the way we want it to. So now we're going to drag our cards. Let's place our cards here. Wonderful. Let's bring it a bit down. Oh, here. Okay, it should be here. And then our crystal, we place our crystal somewhere here. All right. So now it's time to code for our card, of course. So you click on cards. Make sure you click on your card before you start coding. Remember, when you don't click on the particular sprite you're coding for, you're going to make mistake, and you don't want that, right? So let's start. So for our cards, the first block we'll be using is when green flag is clicked. You drag and you drop. Then the next block we'll be using is our forever loop. So get me your forever loop. Go to your controls and get your forever loop. You drag and you drop. Okay, so the next block we'll be using is our next costume block, because we want the cat to switch costumes, right? So it will look like it's flying while it's switching costumes. So the next costume we'll be using is the next block we'll be using is our weight block. Let's get our weight block. This is our weight block. Our weight block is here. Get your weight block. Change it to 0.2, because that's the speed at which our sprites will be switching costumes. All right. Forever next costume with 0.2 seconds. Okay, so the next block we'll be using now is our if then loop. Get your if then loop and place it inside your forever loop. And then the next block we'll be using is go to your sensing and get me when space key is pressed. It's right here. Drop it here, and then you click on this your drop down right here, and you're going to change this space key to up arrow. Okay, change it to up arrow. Okay, for our up arrow, we want when we click on our up arrow on your keyboard, our sprite will be going upwards, right? So for that, you go to your motions and you get me change y by. Okay, remember your up and down is for your y coordinates and your right and left is for your x coordinates. So we are coding for the up direction, so we're going to use our y coordinates. Okay, so get me your change y. Change y. Okay, it's right here. Place it inside your if then loop, and then you click on this 10. You give me a -5. All right, a -5, right? So now let's click on our green flag and click on the up arrow. You see that? So now oh, it's going down. I'm clicking my up arrow and it's going down. Do you know why? We added a negative sign to our 5. It's supposed to be a 5, not a -5. So now that's why you need to test your project. Now I'm clicking on my up arrow and it's going up. That's why you need to test your project while you are still working on it. Okay, so when you find out any mistake, you can modify it while still programming, so that the mistake will not get so tricky that you will be able to figure out where the problem is coming from. Okay, so now the next block we'll be using is our if then loop again. So I can go on and click. I would place my mouse pointer here, and then I'll right click and I'll duplicate. You know how to duplicate by now. We've done that multiple times. All right, let's click on our red button so our cat will keep moving. So now you click on this drop down. Click on your drop down, and we're going to change this up arrow to down arrow. Now you see that if key down arrow is pressed, then change y by, you now add a minus sign. Okay, for the down part is a minus sign. You see that, a minus sign. Now you can click on your green flag, press your up arrow. Our cat is going out. Click on your down arrow and our cat is coming down. You see that? So now we have to code for the right and the left. Okay, our right arrow and our left arrow, right? So to do that, you click on your red button, and we can duplicate again. Right click and duplicate. Then you place it here, right? But for this, we're going to remove this particular block. Do you know why we're removing it? We have a change y by, and now we want to code for the right. Okay, right and left is x, up and down is y. So that's why we are removing this block. So we'll go and get change x by. Change x by, you place it right inside here. Okay, so that's it. Now we'll click on our green flag. Yes, press. We'll go up, our cat is going up. Now when we come down, our cat is coming down. Can you see that? Can you see that? All right, and when I press my right arrow key, the cat is moving forward. Can you see the cat is moving forward? That's it. So now it's time to code for our left arrow key. Right, so as we've done for the up, down, and right, we're also going to duplicate again. If you don't know how to duplicate, you can go on and drag the blocks over and over again. Okay, for me, I'm going to duplicate to facilitate our project. So duplicate, and then you place it right here, exactly the way I'm doing. So now we have to click on our red button to stop our project from running while we're still working on it, right? So now we have key right arrow here because we duplicated, so it's still in uniformity with where we duplicated it from. So now you click on this your point down arrow, and then you change this to left. Okay, you're going to change this to left, and then you add a negative sign to this. Add a negative sign to it. All right, and then we're still going to change this to 5. It's not supposed to be 10, so that our cat will be moving faster while we're playing our project. Give it a 5, and you go up to this one and also give it a 5. That's it. Listen. Then click on your green flag and display. See, my cat is coming down because I'm clicking on the down arrow. It's coming down, it's coming down. Now I'm clicking the up arrow and it's going up. It's going up, it's going up. Can you see that? Now I'm clicking on my right arrow and it's moving forward. And now I'm clicking on my left arrow. I'm pressing my left arrow and my cat is moving backwards. Can you see that? All right, now let's click on our red button. Okay, so now it's time to code for our tree, right? So we're going to code for our tree now. To code for our tree, you have to click on tree. Click on the tree 1. Okay, now let's start. You can go to your when green flag is clicked, drag it and we drop it right here. Okay, so the next block we'll be using now is our positioning, right? So we want this tree to always take this particular position whenever the green flag is clicked. Okay, which is 174 and minus 107 at the y axis. So now we'll go to our motion, drag this block. You remember what I said, you have to position your sprite where you want it to be before you drag out this block. Scratch is going to automatically update it for you. Okay, so you don't have to start typing in the values again. It's already there. As you can see, this is the position of the sprite, right? Our tree, and we have x axis 174 and this, and it's exactly the same thing as what we have here. See, so now the next block we'll be using is our forever. So you go to your controls, get your forever loop, drop it here. Okay, so now the next block we'll be using is change x by, okay, because we want our tree to be scrolling across our screen while our game is running. Okay, so to do that, we'll have to go to our motion and then you get me your change x by block. Change x by is right here. Change x by 10 and drop it in your forever loop. Okay, but for this we are going to add a negative sign to our x. Now we're going to let's make it move faster. We're going to give it a -7. -7. Okay, so now when you click on your green flag, let's see. Let me make this bold so you can see what I'm doing clearly. Okay, you don't have to stress your eyes. Okay, that's it. I think it's bold enough now. All right, so now let's see what will happen. You see, I click on the green flag and it's scrolling. Our tree is scrolling. So while the tree is scrolling, it will look as if the cat is flying. Okay, but then our cat is like it's at a place, so you're going to be moving it with your arrow keys, right? So let's continue. So now our tree scrolled and it stopped at some point. So we don't just want it to stop here, we want it to be a continuous scrolling. Okay, we want it to go back to this place and continue scrolling again, a continuous process. So to achieve that, we're going to get our if then loop. Okay, so that whenever it gets to this position, it goes back to its initial position and continues scrolling again. So you go to your controls and get your if then loop. Drag your if then loop and place it inside your forever loop. Okay, and now we need our operators for this. So you go to your operators and then you get me your less than. Get me your less than block and you drop it right here. Okay, here's our less than block. That's right. So now we're going to get our X position block and we'll place it here where my mouse is hovering. Okay, so let's go to our motion block and look for X position. Where is our X position? Our X position is right here. So drag that block and drop it here. Whoa, it just merged, right? So now we're going to change this particular figure. We're going to change it when X. Okay, so this particular position where this and 3 is minus 2, 7, 4, right? Okay, that's this place. So we want it to be somewhere here. Okay, we want it to go backwards to somewhere here. So somewhere here should be 240. Let's give it a negative 240. A negative 240. You can go on and type in whatever you're seeing here. For me, I'll be giving it a 240. Okay. If X position is less than minus 240, then go back to this position and start all over again. Okay, I want it to go back to that position and start all over again. So therefore we're going to drag this block again and we're going to drop it inside our if then loop, and then we'll click on our green flag. Let's see if it's going to happen. Well, it's stuck, right? Okay, do you know why? Because there is a negative sign here, right? And this negative sign is for this particular position, and we want it to start here. Okay, this place is the positive sign and here is negative sign. So we're going to remove this negativity and we are going to leave it at a positive X. Okay, so we just have to click here and delete the negative sign there, and then we'll click on our green flag and see what will happen. Whoa, beautiful, right? You see, our backdrop or our tree is now scrolling non-stop and our project is already coming to life little by little, right? So now our backdrop is set, cat flying is set, our tree is set. Now is remaining our crystal, right? So we have to code for the crystal. Okay, so now we click on the crystal, right? Now we want the crystal to also scroll. We want the crystal to be coming towards this way, and then our cat is going to be grabbing some points. Okay, this crystal is like points. So as our cat is grabbing some crystals, it will be recording our scores for us to know how many scores we'll be able to gather. Okay, so now we're going to code for our crystal. So click on your crystal and go to your event. Get your when green flag is click block, drag it and drop it right here. We can zoom to make our work bolder so you can see what I'm doing. So now we already placed the crystal on this position. This is where you want the crystal to always appear from. So you go to your motion block and you get your go to Y and X block. You drag it and you drop it right here. Next block we'll be using is our forever. So go and get your forever loop, drag it and drop it right here. Okay, so the next block we'll be using, of course, is change X by -7. It's similar to the code we used for our tree because we also want it to be scrolling from the same part, right? Or just from different different heights. So we want our crystal to be flowing from the upper side while our tree will be scrolling downwards. Okay, so now you go to your motion and get your change y. Does it change y or change x? It's change x that we're using, right? We'll get our change x. See that? Now we're going to make this one to be -5, not a -7. That's the only difference we're going to have. -7. Okay. And now let's see if it's going to scroll. Where is our crystal? Oh, the crystal disappeared. Okay. Let's get our crystal back to this place again. Here's our crystal. And we're going to make it bolder. Crystal is small. Let's make it 120. Alright, our crystal is 120 now. Let's see, where did it disappear to? Disappeared to somewhere and it's not even scrolling. Right? So we need to do something about it. Let's get this. Get your crystal. Drag it. And place it here. So we're going to get this block out. And get your motion block. Alright, get this block. Place it here. And let's see, our crystal should flow. Alright, that's beautiful. So the crystal is now flowing across the screen whenever I click on the green flag. Okay, and it stops here. So now we want it to go back and continue scrolling again, just like we did for the tree. So to do that, we'll get our if then loop. Go to your controls and get your if then loop. Drag it and place it inside your forever loop. Right? And you go to your operators. Go to your operators and get me your less than sign, right? And we're going to change this exactly what we did for 2240. Okay, change x position. So you go to your motions and then you scroll down and look for your x coordinates. Here is our x coordinates. Change x by, no, we're not going to use that, x position. Rather, get this block and you place it on top of your operators block right here. Okay, if x position is less than -240, which is this position where it is now, we want you to go back and start all over again, right? So to achieve that, we'll go to our block, right? And we drag this particular block and we drop it here and we'll go on and then we remove the negative sign there because we want it to be here, and this part of the screen is our positive x, right? So click on your green flag. Let's see. All right, it's scrolling continuously. I don't have to click on the green flag continuously to make my crystal fly. My crystal is flowing flawlessly. All right, so now we need to add some actions. Okay, we need something to happen whenever our crystal touches the cat. Okay, it should add some points to us, right? And it should also disappear to look as if our cat grabbed it actually in reality. You know, we are coding, so we're going to program it to make it come to life, right? So now I'm going to minimize my codes because I want to add more codes here, right? I'm not going to attach any more codes to this one. So to do that, you go to your events and get when green flag is click block. You drag it and you drop it here. And the next thing we'll be doing is to go to our variables, right? We'll create a variable. So click on your make a variable. I'm going to create a variable and name it score chorus. You know what our score variable do for us. You already know the function of our variable. So now you drag this block, set my variable to 0, and you place it here. And you click on this your drop down as I'm doing, and you're going to change it to score. Always remember to do that when you have a particular variable on your stage. If you don't change it to that here, if you don't change your variable to the variable you've created, it's not going to give you what you want, or your project is not going to respond to it. Okay, so now we'll go and get our forever loop. Get your forever loop. Drag your forever and drop it here. And then the next block we'll be using is our next costume block, because we want our crystal to be switching costume to the purple color and the blue color. We don't just want it to have a particular costume, you remember, right? So now we're going to get our next costume. So go to your looks, get your next costume block, drag it and drop it. Where is it? Drag it and drop it inside your forever loop. Okay, and I want it to wait for some seconds before it switches to the next costume. And to do that, we'll go to our controls and get your wait block. It's right here, and you place it here. So now we're going to remove this one here. You go on and delete your one, and you give me a 0.1 seconds. 0.1 seconds, right? That's good. So let's click on our green flag before we continue to see what we coded for is working. All right, our crystal is switching costume while flying or while scrolling over our stage. Can you see that? Beautiful, right? Let's continue. So now we need to make it count our scores. So to do that, we'll go to our controls and we'll get our if then loop. You can find it in your controls block palette. So get it and place it inside your forever loop. And the next block we'll be using is our touching sprite. So you go to your sensing, get touching mouse pointer block, drag it and you drop it on top of your if then loop. On top, not inside. Don't make that mistake of placing it inside. You place it inside, your project is not going to run the way you are programming it to. Okay, so you click on your drop down and then you change it to flying, your cat flying. We have mouse pointer edge, cat flying, and we have our tree one. So we're coding for cat flying. So you click on cat flying. So what do we want to happen once it comes in contact with our cat flying? We want a sound to play. Okay, so you go on to your sound and get me play sound until done. Get this particular block. Mine just went off. Drag it and drop it inside your if then loop as I'm doing. Okay, or I'll just bring down this block here. I think it's obstructing your view, and then I will scroll down. Remember your stage is wide, so you can scroll to balance your blocks. Okay, all right, now you can see it clearly. So now we have play sound collect until done, but we don't want it to have a collect sound. We use the collect sound for our falling stars game. So now we want to use a coin sound. Now you go to your block palette. On top of your block palette, you see your sound tab. Then you come down, you click on your sound icon, and to get you to your sound library. Now you click on your search bar and then you're going to search for coin. Search for coin. Oh, you heard that sound, right? Select and you return to your code area. Now you click on this drop down and you change it to the coin sound. Let's see if it's working. You see? You see? All right, it's making that sound when it came in contact with the cat. So now we need to add more actions, right? So we want it to go, we want the coin to go back to its initial position once it touches the cat. Okay, so to achieve that, you go to your motions and get me your go to X and Y block, drag it and drop it inside here. Okay, and we are going to change this figure to 227. 227 is somewhere here, and somewhere here. You see that? So I want it to go to that position. Just give it a 227 or 225. Let's change it to 225. 225. And then for our Y, let's give it a 90. As you can see on our stage, you look there, you see the direction is 90, the y-axis is 109. I don't know, 90 should be okay. Well, let's give it a 95. A 95. 95 is not bad, or better still, 100. That's good. So, and then it's going to change our variable. So to do that, you go to your variable block and look for change my variable by 1. Drag it and drop it inside your if then loop, and you click on this your drop down, change it to score, and you click on your green flag to play your project. You see, and it's counting our scores for us. Our project is working perfectly fine. You see our game, right? So you can now use your arrow keys to move your cat up and down to get some scores. Okay, so now we need to add something else. Remember our topic for today, okay, is how to add a background music to our games, right? So that's the remaining thing to do here. So to do that, we are going to go to your events and get when green flag display. Drag it and drop it here. And now you go to your forever loop. Okay, go to your controls and get your forever loop and drop it right here. So the next block we'll be using is our sound block, of course. So go to your sounds. The sound you're looking for is not here. So we're going to our sign library to look for the particular sound we'll be using for this project. Okay. So click on your sounds and come to this place. So you click on loops. We have this sound on loop that we're going to use. So let's go down. All right, we can use one of these sounds ranging from 1 to 4. Right, so let's see the one that will be perfect for our game. Can you hear that? But we can use this as our background sound, or let's check other one. We have the sound too. Or let's check out another one. We also have this one. All right, let's check out another one. This one is interesting. But I think I like the first one, which is this sound. So we're going to use this particular sound for our background music. Okay, so whenever our game is playing, when you're playing your game, you'll be hearing the sound. Okay, so click on it. All right, we just selected it. So let's go back to our code area, and then you click on your drop down, change this coin sound to our 01, and let's play our game. Can you hear that? Can you see? And our cat is getting some crystals. Interesting, right? So our game is ready. But to make it more fun, we can also decide to duplicate our crystal and position it somewhere else. Okay, let's duplicate our crystal and position it somewhere else, so it won't just be coming out from a particular direction, it will also be coming out from another direction, and then you have to hurry up to get to get all the points you can. So now we'll go on and duplicate our crystal. Duplicate your crystal. You know how to duplicate. You right click and then you click on duplicate, and it is done. Right, so the next thing we'll be doing is to reposition it. Okay, so let's click on it to see the duplicated sprite. All right, here's our duplicated sprite. So let's take it up. Let's take it up somewhere here. So we want our first crystal to be coming up from here, or should we take it higher? Should we take it higher? No, it's okay here. All right, we want this to be flowing from here. So to do that, we are going to change. We are going to change the positioning, right? So now, all we have to change is this particular block. So go to your motion, or you check out the position where the crystal is from here, and you just click there. We have 215 down there, 215, as you can see here. It's 215 for the x coordinates, and then 61 for the y coordinates. Okay, so you're going to delete this 113 right here, and you're going to give it a 61. All right, 61, not 611. That's an error from me. And you're also going to change the down one to the exact thing you can see up there. Okay, because that's the position where it will always start from, right? So give it a 16. I mean a 61. That's it. Let's see if it's going to be coming up from there. So we still need to make another change. So you come down to this place, and you're also going to give it the exact position you give to this one, which is 215 and the 61. Okay, so can you see? Can you see that? So you can go up and you can come down to grab some points. Okay, and you can also decide to expand your screen to get a better view of your game. Okay, and then you play and then enjoy. So that's it for today's game and today's project. I'll see you in our next class. Okay, so then keep scratching. Bye for now.